Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Maxon Color. I hope you're all safe and doing well. And today I'm accompanied by my co-host Diego. And Diego is in exotic locations. Where are you now, Diego?
Hey Max, how are you? Good?
I'm good. What about you, Diego?
All right. So I'm actually right now in a place called Cartagena.
Oh, that's a
It's
nice place.
it's a historical town, colonial town in
It
the north part of
reflects
the world.
on your shirt, right?
Yeah. So I'm actually have the beach like in front of me, so it's good.
That's really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
for all of you joining us today, before I start introducing our guest for today, let me share my screen. Or instead of keeping it secret because we already have like the promotions going on. Well, let me introduce you to our guest today. Our guest today is Jeff Olm. Hey, Jeff.
Hey everybody,
Hey Jeff.
How
great to
are
be
you
here.
doing?
Doing excellent. It's fall here in beautiful Wisconsin, so the weather's getting crisp, and it's love this change of the seasons.
It is. The colors is beautiful. I love herbs. I mean herbs.
Yes.
That's a German word for autumn. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up. In German they call it herbs. And I think Hashi is in the channel. Hey, hello Hashi, welcome. Thank you for joining in. And
So Hashi,
before we play the fantastic reel from Jeff, let me draw your attentions to a small housekeeping. Right? Let me share my screen. Well, if you want to know more about the events that we host in Maxon, you can simply go to Maxon and maxon.net, that is, and go to the news, and go to the events, and you'll be able to see all the events that we are hosting. For this month, we have Jeff today, and tomorrow we have another sessions of VFX and Chill with Seth and Hashi. So if you are into VFX, make sure that you pop into VFX and Chill and learn lot of tricks there. And then next Monday, we also have the demystifying post-productions, and this time is around ZBrush. So if you want to learn more about sculpting, then definitely check out the Monday demystifying post-productions webinar. And also, you can get free t-shirt for today. So if you haven't get any t-shirt from Maxon, please do so. Go to the address that I will paste in the chat and use the password. Where's my mouse? Use the password Spooky Sculpts to enter the website, right? And then if you don't make if you cannot make it today, but you really want to watch the presentations from Jeff, and if you miss all the other sessions that hosted live by Maxon, you can of course watch the recordings because all of these sessions are recorded and they are available in YouTube, and simply type in Maxon training team and you'll be in our channel, and go to the playlist and you'll see a lot of like the webinar that we hosted. So for example, we have Maxon Color, we have ZBrush related, or 20-second tips on any of our tools. So that's a little housekeeping. Without further ado, let us get back to Jeff. So Jeff is a professional that has like over 35 years on his belt working in the film industry. And Jeff,
all
do
my
you want to?
life.
Yeah, and he's been
I'm
working.
34, so you have been working since one year minus me.
And he's been working on absolute amazing movie that made my times during my teenage time. And if you ever heard like the first Spiderman with Tobey Maguire, Jeff worked on that. Imagine that. Titanic, Harry Potter, you name it. And Jeff, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself, Jeff?
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, I've been doing it a long time. I started in TV. I worked on shows called, as an assistant editor, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Max Headroom, Outer Limits, and a bunch of Michael Jackson, McDonough music videos, and then I went into visual effects, and my first two movies were Titanic and Fifth Element, and I was at Digital Domain, and I'd made the transition from video to film, and after Fifth Element and Titanic, it's kind of just all been downhill. It was really hard to top that experience, and the groups of people that I was working with, and they were just really, those movies still hold up. And I have some other favorite movies like Seabiscuit and Black Hawk Down and things that were very memorable, but those first two movies that you do are kind of always very special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the movies that made my time, and it's really great movies. And before we move forward, I would like to play Jeff Reel, if that's okay, Jeff, with you.
Yeah.
Right. So
Let's
enjoy, everybody. Let's enjoy.
it.
Wow.
It's like
Wow. Jeff, I cannot even list all those movies. Those are, man. Wow.
the funny thing about the Jeff Reel is like all of the images you saw it. It's like I seen.
Yes, exactly. I saw that. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. I was
Wow.
there. I saw that when I was 2, when I was 5, when I was 10, when I was 15. Yeah.
Jeff,
Yeah, that's-
on all these movies, what kind of role did you contribute to all this movie? Were you working mainly in the VFX or in the color, or what did you do on this movie?
In all the animation stuff, I was the senior colorist at DreamWorks Animation. While they were in the heyday of the stereo movies, did the very first stereo movies, and then the Madagascar movies, Megamind, and then of course Titanic. I did visual effects on. I did color on Avengers: Age of Ultron. This was Titanic, obviously. This is an old film called Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
Bicentennial Man. Yes, I remember that. And
remember
Jeff,
that was
being so long in this industry and throughout so many technological changes, and is there any change in your approach, or is the approach to grade remain similar throughout the entire time?
You learn something new on every project, especially in the early days of stereo. The Avengers movies, the Marvel movies are all stereo now too. So I was able to take the skill set from the stereo stuff I did at DreamWorks and bring it into the live action features of Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers Age of Ultron. So, it just brings back so many memories of every show, when I see, when I watch my reel back and things like that. So it's, the approach always changes, the technology changes. Like we were saying just a few minutes ago, before this, we were talking about you being in Germany. And I was at the SGI table at Oktoberfest,
Oktoberfest.
and now Silicon Graphics. While in the very beginning, when I was sitting on the Infernos doing Titanic and things like that, the machines were $500,000, and the software was $150,000 and things. So it's really a different times. Now everything is a lot more democratized. That using the cloud that we're going to talk about, you can get as powerful a machine as you want, and just basically kind of rent it. Just use it for the job that you need. Get the hardware, get the configuration, get the storage that you need, and then when the show's done, you just back it up and delete it, and you don't have to pay for it anymore.
No string attached.
No string attached.
That's exactly what we are going to talk about today, guys. I think you see where we are heading. Just imagine if you are working remotely, and if you are, for example, a digital nomad, and then if you're based somewhere, for example, in Bali, and then will you take all your studio equipment, like heavy machine, with you? Or how do you do your job? If the project calls, you need to be able to answer it, right? And how do you do that without like a heavy PC to carry around? And if you're just working solely with a laptop. And Jeff actually has an approach, has a workflow that he will break down today with us and share with us, and that is through Eclipse Tech, right, Jeff? Could you talk a little bit about Eclipse Tech?
Sure. Let me share my screen real quick, and we'll go into it. So let's do that.
all right. So I want to add something before that. Is like, for example, you guys see me. I'm right now in the coast. I'm in Cartagena. I'm not in my studio. I'm with my laptop. But I'm actually going to show you also that I can join a virtual machine and have the most powerful computer. So this is really awesome. This is really awesome. And you know what I think about what Jeff is going to show is like, before we have to do really big investments in expensive computers.
Yes.
And that was a problem. That was a problem because, I mean, a really big investment is, okay, you need to have a company, or you need to work in a company. Right now, if you have a project, someone hires you, you just rent a computer and there you go. And also, when you finish, you just shut down that computer and that's it.
That's
so
it.
So you don't waste money in a big computer watching Facebook, watching Instagram, because that's mostly what we are doing with our big computers.
You're summarizing my life, Diego.
So you are in front of a big computer watching Facebook. That is really, really awesome. That is really awesome.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is that you can, if you're using Resolve or something that doesn't have like a background rendering mechanism, that you can actually have two machines. And Diego and I will go into how you can share projects, using shared storage on the cloud. You can also use the Blackmagic cloud now, and so yeah, I'll share my screen and I'll take us through the workflow.
Awesome.
All right. That's my grandson there. So, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So one of the first things to know is that the website is called eclipsetech.co. Somebody else got the com and they didn't feel like paying for it, so it's .co. So the very first thing is you go to the eclipsetech.co page, and then we'll go to the sign in. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it works. It's you can use all these different software on these Windows virtual machines. So if you're in the media and entertainment space, Maya, Unreal Engine, is really good now. If you are in the manufacturing and design, you can use AutoCAD, and architecture, you can use Revit, AutoCAD. So basically, all the things now, you can actually get these machines and do artificial intelligence and machine learning, and get as fast of a machine as you want. And as we were talking about, anytime, anywhere. There's times where I've been in an airport and I've had to log in to resolve and change out a title card or something like that, and I can actually use the Wi-Fi and just go in and do simple editorial tasks. Obviously, I'm not going to color correct something in the airport, but you can, I've done demos from hotel lobbies and all kinds of things like that. So we've got some testimonials on here. If you want to get a demo with me, you can go in and fill out this form. So basically, the way to get started. And there is a little support page here that will tell you basically everything, that if things that you want to look at, there's nice DCV you can use. There's Teradici PCO IP. I normally use that for color correction and things like that. But yeah, in the support page here, it takes you all the way through all those steps. But I'm going to show those to you now. And so the first thing you do is you go to the sign-in page. I'm going to sign out just to show you that page. So you go and you enter in your email, and then you say sign in, and then it's going to send you a confirmation email back, and then you'll go in, and first thing you'll do, it'll take you to the portal.eclipse.co, and it'll show you your dashboard, and that's all the machines that you have right now. So there's two aspects to it. There is the dashboard that shows you the visual effects workstations you've already created, and then there's the workstation templates. It's going to make me sign on again. That's funny. Good for me. So Diego, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've done with Eclipse Tech and
All right. So actually, we met with Jeff. When was it? Like 2 years ago, I think so. We haven't met in real person, but we met virtually. And the reason we met, it was like, in the pandemic, all of that virtual machines things start and so on. And Jeff gave us a demonstration about how to access to a computer in the cloud. And I was like, what? Crazy. So
That's
I
a
got the
thing.
demo with Jeff. Jeff said to me, and I was like, let's do it. I want to start. Using Eclipse Tech. And we continue like working with Jeff doing some demos. But when was it? Like 1 year ago, I did one short film with the HPA, a Hollywood Professional Association, and in some way the workflow of that short film was to do everything in the cloud. So I actually create a short film using a AWS machine, a virtual machine. And the great thing is about the quality. So Jeff was talking before about Teradici and NiceDB. And probably you guys are thinking, okay, I can connect my computer via TeamViewer or via AnyDesk. No, this is not like that. When you connect to another computer using Teradici, it's like you forgot that you are in your computer. The
Yeah.
quality is 422 or is 420, like the subsampling.
Yeah, I'll tell. Well, because you mentioned it, I'll go through this one real quick. So
Yes,
this
this
is
is
just
beautiful.
an
Yeah.
idea of how multiple people all over the world. So the project that Diego and I worked on was six female directors. There were editors in L.A., London, Dubai, all over the place. And these are the two directors, Abir and Bella, that I worked with. And she was actually in London, and Abir was in Dubai, and Barry, the editor, was in L.A. And then I was in Spring Green, Wisconsin, my office right now. So we've all basically worked on the AWS cloud. We used Frame.io to for shot review and things like that. All the footage was kept on central storage on shared AWS S3 storage with LucidLink. We use AWS Media Exchange to deliver the files. The software that I ran with the Eclipse Tech virtual machine on AWS was Nuke and then Sapphire. So I was doing lens flares and things like that. Um, Barry had a sequence that he was doing on his laptop, and it couldn't do it. And he called me up on a Saturday night and he says, "Hey, can you set me up with the virtual machine so I can get this opening title sequence done?" And I said, "Sure, I can." The other thing that's available is Flame is now available on AWS on Linux machines. So that's what I've actually been doing pretty much the last 8 months. Have been doing commercials and TV shows and things like that. So back to the good stuff. So I'm going to take you through and show you how to create a virtual workstation, an AWS workstation with the Eclipse Tech interface. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to select a region. So basically, pretty much all the major AWS data centers are listed here. So what you'll do is if you're collaborating, like Diego and I are collaborating, we actually use Virginia. For some strange reason, there is a good connection between Northern Virginia and Columbia. So, yeah,
Really strange reason, actually.
yeah. So that we found that this is one of the larger data centers, and have used that to collaborate. We also have clients in other clients in South America, but Sao Paulo is a little bit more expensive than Virginia, so it's all a matter of latency. But you basically choose a region based on where you are. So and who you're working with. Then the next step, now this is the real beauty of it all. So now I'm going to go shopping and I'm going to look and pick out the configuration that I want. I can actually get 192 CPUs if I wanted. If I was doing fluid simulations or something like that. I'll normally use a 16 CPU with 64 gigs of RAM. Look at my network speed, 25 gig network speed. An NVIDIA T4. Actually, I'd probably
Yeah, we're using that one.
I
Yeah.
probably would use this for some of the bigger jobs because it has the new A10 GPU with 24 gigs of virtual RAM. So basically, it tells you exactly what the machine is that you're using, and you're only billed by the hour for the machine. So I'll just pick this one per se. Now the other thing, colorists like Diego and I. We like to use Teradici. You can also use AWS Nice DCV. There's a browser version and a desktop version. Um, so I'll go in and I'll enable the Teradici. Next thing I'll go in, and I'll pick the baseline image. So I can either use the older Windows Server version or use the new server version, the 2022, depending on what your software that you're using is optimized for. Now here's where it gets interesting. So now the what you're going to do is set up here your C drive. So normally your C drive just holds your operating system and maybe some with LucidLink it does some RAM storage and storage caching playback. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to say let's say 500 gig for that, and then we'll just say test. Which I probably have a bunch of other ones. I'll just say Maxon.
Yes. It happens with me all the time. Yeah.
That's like naming something final. You know,
Yes,
it's like
yes.
it's definitely the curse. So now I'll go through and it will give me a show me exactly what I have set up. So I have the hardware, Teradici, my operating system, and my region that I'm in, and then my next step. Then it's basically going to go through and it'll tell me this workstation is a little bit more expensive. You know, normally I run them at like $3 an hour, but then which that's only hourly. Now the workstation storage, so you don't have to every time you log in have to reload your material. You pay for the storage as an ongoing cost as long as you have material on it or you have the virtual machine. So that's one thing that you'll want to look into. So now that I've had that, so I basically created the template, and so now I'm going to go to my template, and I'm going to. This is why I named it owner.
There's Maxon, the third one.
Yep.
Third one. There you go.
There we go. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to move Diego around here. And the first thing I can do is create a new instance. So I'll create the new instance. So literally by just adding that. So that is now created. I can also go in, and when the machines aren't running, I can go in and grab my workstation template, or I can share this template. So let's say I'm a university IT guy and I want to set up my whole class. I can create a template with the machine and then send that out via email to the users. So so it's a very convenient system. All the billing, the Teradici, the LucidLink, and the storage and the machine all go through the Eclipse Tech billing. So,
for example, one of the things that I love about virtual machines is that you can say, okay, let's start conforming. So I will not need like a powerful computer. So I can put let's say a cheaper computer, and then when you are doing grading, you use a more powerful. It's like you change some specs, and then in rendering you say, okay, I want something more powerful. So you change the specs depend of the kind of work you are doing. That is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's like you are not compromised with one expensive or cheap machine. No, you are like just changing the specs based on what you needed.
Yeah.
It's even better than a normal computer.
Yeah. So that's what to put into the I didn't have any storage on this one. Oh, I just started this one. It's going to let me edit it. Okay. So what Diego was saying is once I've configured my machine is I can go in and I can actually change the hardware to one of the other machines. So so that's really handy. You know, how often can you like swap out hardware? And it's basically very very quick to do it. So yeah. So I'm going to
just one click. That's it.
Yeah. So over here on my very messy desktop, as you can see, I have the PCO IP client, and I'll go in and I had the Diego demo set up in here. I put in administrator, then I put in the password that is provided in. That was one thing I didn't talk about, was the password. Stop. I don't want to do that.
The second one is the second one.
Second one, yeah.
It's at the right next to stop.
Oh, here we go.
That one. There you go.
There we go. Yeah. Thanks, Diego.
It's
So
okay, Joel.
this is here's the host name, and so you can actually copy that in, when you're setting everything up, and then the password is going to change. You're always going to want to copy that, and then you also have the option of just using a traditional web browser, DCV web browser, or the desktop client with nice DCV. And then what we're using is the Teradici PCO IP option. So once I have that, I'll go in and enter that information in here. And then for the sake of demonstration, then we're gonna, there we go. And so here's my desktop. On here I have DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere. I can run Nuke on here. I can run Unreal, basically Cinema 4D. Any package that runs on Windows, I can add on here. So one of the other really nice things is that Diego and I can actually share S3 storage. So we created a shared project with LucidLink. So by bringing up the LucidLink app, we went in here, and here it lists the storage and how much we're using, and the bandwidth is excellent. So I can basically play. I have both Resolve and Premiere up here, but I can go through and all this stuff plays in real time. So the beauty is that this is actually 6K red footage. So if you got a laptop or something like that, you may not be able to get real playback on that. You may have to use proxies, which you can use proxies. The other nice thing about LucidLink is once you play it through once, it has everything cached. So with
and I want to add something about LucidLink. Is like, for example, probably you are wondering, okay, how you transfer files. So because LucidLink is an app, or is an storage, let's say, you can have LucidLink locally in your computer. So all you need is to drag the files to the LucidLink local, and then you open LucidLink in the virtual machines, and over there you will have the files. So it's like you don't need any more, like, I don't know, let's see, we transfer from IO, or you just use LucidLink as a way to transfer files. And because it's collaborative, so all what Jeff is seeing, I'm seeing also in my virtual machine.
That's very convenient, yeah.
So, one of the other very cool things, my favorite thing about working on the cloud is when I go down here and I go to properties on this, look at that storage that I have available. If I really wanted to, if I wanted to get crazy, I can go and I can grab a petabyte, space. Obviously, you don't, want to do that, but if you want. So basically, you can just keep on adding material to it, and your storage will increase. But and you only pay for it as you use it. It's basically a per day fee. So if you go and you have, let's say, 2 terabytes on the storage, you pay for that 2 terabytes that day. Well, if you delete a terabyte at night, then that next morning you only pay for you only pay for the storage that you're using. So it actually scales down. One of the other great things that I like is you have full administrative rights to this. So, but this is basically the biggest thing for working remote. Okay, stand by to be shocked and awed.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, so
No.
It's crazy.
Max,
Wow.
Max, it even gets better than this. So this is my download speed. So if I want to transfer files to someone, or things like that, well, it looks like it's a little busy. Sometimes my upload speed is actually faster than the download speed. So where this comes into play is getting started on the project, with your getting the dailies up to the cloud and things like that. But once it's there, you can send stuff and download stuff very quickly. And I'm sure a lot of you all ran into, during the pandemic when you're working at home, and that you finish the project. Well, now you've got 2 terabytes of rendered material. What are you gonna, how are you gonna get that there? Sometimes, like, I have a friend that has, fiber at his place, so I'll go over there and upload it. But if it's all on the cloud, you can basically just send it to any other cloud server. You can send it via Google Drive. I use WeTransfer quite often, but the really nice thing is that you can have your DaVinci project, you can have your Resolve project, and collaborate with people and not have the limitation of bandwidth. It's important that you have good bandwidth, at your office, so that the latency, isn't bad. So let me bring something.
Is there any minimum? Is there any minimum recommendations, Jeff, for the bandwidth, local bandwidth on your office?
Yep. I have I have a farm. And at the farm, I have Starlink, which is the latency is a little bit less. But the big thing you want to do is go and check and see how your latency is. And this is actually, there we go. So this is my Spectrum internet, which is 400 down and 20 up. But the big thing is what my latency is. So the latency is how long it takes for your mouse move or keystroke to get to the machine in the data center. So this machine is actually in or my machine's here in Wisconsin, but I do have really good latency. So I'd say anything that's under 80 for latency is good.
Yeah.
Anything around 20, is very good. So, yeah. You guys got any, Max? You got any questions about, how the cloud machines work, or anything like that?
No, go on.
So I have a question, Jeff, about grading. So how many screens you can have?
I use 2 screens, but you can have up to 4 with using Teradici. You can have up to 4 screens with at 4K. So yeah, it's you can get more than you want, and of course now there's new devices that are coming out from Blackmagic and from AJA.
AJA,
that
yeah. I think they mentioned the ColorBox.
Yeah, they have the new ColorBox, which I haven't seen yet. I'm gonna have to. My friend Barry is now with AJA, and my old boss Dave Sampson was there. So I'm gonna have to hit those up and maybe get an eval box and check it. But what I do is I use a a probe to you can actually calibrate the virtual machines. So here's one of the other things talking about storage. So the second part of it, after you add your storage, your local storage, then you want to go in and actually add your local storage, which you'll add using the LucidLink app and LucidLink interface. So what you'll do is you'll go in and you'll create what's called Filespace. And let me see. Let me open up LucidLink here. Oh, we'll open it up on this machine.
Yeah, you're in the virtual one? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have it installed on the local one. Oh, here we go. Too many windows.
Too many windows. Yeah, yeah. You're getting messy there. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. So you'll actually use this app to go in and open the control panel, and then add the mount point name. We did an L for LucidLink, and then you'll go in and you'll set cache size and things like that. And then there's some other optimizations down here that you can load. I normally just run it at default, but it's very simple to go in and add storage. You can snapshot the storage, and you can look at the LucidLink website, and it'll take you through all that setup and storage. But the big thing is that it's like any Windows application will run on this. You can get any size machine that you want. The important thing to remember is when you're done is to hit the stop button. We do have an auto timeout now that will actually send you an email and a notice, and it'll say, hey, this machine's still running. And in the settings, you can go in and set up what you want for your timeout and things like that. So all in all, I mean, when I have a big project, it's the only way to work, especially if you have large files that you need to move and things like that. So
what about, Jeff, for connecting the mini panel or a wave panel? How it works with that?
Yeah. Let me go back to here. So under Teradici, under connection devices, you can go in here. I actually have a Blackmagic Mini panel. You'll just go through and set up the normal stuff. But yeah, it'll all show up here in your device panel. I also use a Wacom tablet that's not hooked up now, so it uses the mini panels, all the Blackmagic panels, and all the tangent panels work with it, as well as the Wacom tablets. And it's like, as long as your latency is good, you can even paint with do paint and use Cinema 4D with the panels. So.
Yeah, we can even use ZBrush. Exactly.
Yeah. No, and that's what I love. That's what I love. In some ways, like, okay, it's like, for example, for 3D requires a big computer. But I mean, you don't need to invest in a big computer. You have it. You just pay for the hours. Exactly. And that's it. For example, if you are checking about how much do you need to be your quote for a project. So with the virtual machine, it's so easy because you can say, okay, if I'm going to spend 10 hours, so I just put the calculator, $5. So my computer will be like, I don't know, like $60.
Yeah.
And that will be like something that you put in the project. So it's actually easier because the amount of money that we lost in a computer not using like for the real things is made it, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So a virtual machine is like you pay for what you have. You pay for what you have. It's
Yep.
perfect about it.
So Jeff, the basic minimum, how do you call it, setup that you would recommend for somebody that want to grade using Eclipse tech. So it's literally just a laptop and a reference monitor and
Yeah.
and a panel if you have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
that's the big thing. I have a very nice Alienware that's actually getting pretty old now. Before I moved to Wisconsin, I was actually doing virtual reality things. So I made it a point to buy a Windows laptop with a big NVIDIA card. So I have a 1070i card in it. So it's a beefy laptop that'll do 4K jobs and things like that. But with the laptop, you can work anywhere. What's important is to get a calibrated monitor
Yeah.
at your location, or things like that. So I would normally rent one, or if it's a long enough project, you can probably just buy like a nice LG monitor that will that'll get you through it.
The
In a
LG TV, you mean? The old-
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I've been in location in Connecticut, working on a Netflix show, and I had, like a previous project come back that they wanted to do, and I actually just pulled the HDMI cable off of the hotel room TV, and I I went into that. I went, because then I could see I was actually doing small roto fixes and things like that.
Yeah.
So I just needed a big
A
monitor.
big screen. A big
A big
screen.
screen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
the color decisions had been made, but that's one of those things where if you're in a hotel, the client asks for revisions, and you need to move data out of that hotel room, you're never going to do it. If you're remoted into your machine, you can basically do send those files with the 25 gig speed, the 5 gig
Wow.
speed of the fiber. All these Amazon data centers have huge fiber connections for that. You can move more data than you can ever imagine, and people are using virtual machines for machine learning. As I showed in the beginning slides, you can use the shows for machine learning.
Yep.
For now the Nuke and even Blackmagic has AI functions where
Yeah.
they're
The neural
going-
engine.
Yep. So yeah, I mean it's really great. I can't really say enough about it. It's been a game changer.
The future is here.
The
It's a
future
dream,
is here.
actually.
It
It's a
is.
dream.
Wow.
It's a dream. So, for example, let me show it to you. Probably you guys are saying, okay, Jeff is the only one. Hello? Are we there?
Yep,
Yes, we are there.
We're here.
Yeah. So
Yep.
probably you guys are saying, okay, Jeff is because he's talking about virtual machines and so on. So Jeff is the only one that is doing this. No, so I'm going to show you here. I'm in my virtual machine right now. And for example,
Diego
This
is
is my-
connected to virtual machines, right, Diego?
yes, this is
Okay.
my virtual machine, the one that I'm showing to you right now. And look at the speed I have it.
Wow.
So I don't know why I have more speed than you, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. So look at my
Oh,
speed
no.
also.
I know why exactly, because you have the 32 core machine that you booted up, which has bigger bandwidth than the 16 that I was using. So,
Alright.
the good thing is when you need the hardware, you just go in and change the hardware as you need it. So,
All right, so you need to transfer like big files around the cloud. So that's a good tip. That's a great tip, actually. So as you notice here, I'm in Virginia, And if I go, for example, here on this is my local, let me just come here. Okay. I'm in Resolve right now. I can also go to the cloud if I need it. And here I have LucidLink, the same storage than Jeff had. And we, for example, we have the same demo. Jeff can put something here. I can see it at the same moment here. So it will be not like, it will be like working in the same, I don't know, in the same hard drive, but we are, I don't know how many miles away. Many, many miles away. Many miles
And
away.
you're not limited with speed or something like that.
Oh,
Wow.
for sure. And look, I'm in front of the beach. So it's
Yeah,
like,
like you
it's
said,
like
this is a dream.
yes, it's a dream. It's a dream actually for you say for the digital nomads.
Yes.
That in some of the cases we say, no, I cannot go to another place because in that place I will not have my big computer. No,
Exactly.
not
You can
any.
just rent a reference monitor with your laptop and connect to a virtual machines. Done deal.
Yes. Yeah. And for example, here, for example, Jeff show us Resolve, Premiere, but also, for example, I have here Magic Bullet, and also what I have is a node structure with Mojo. I love Mojo because Mojo is
Yeah.
like really, really, really fast and really easy to use. So, for example, here is the look that I made just doing Mojo. Really, like, really fast and getting like, I don't know, like a teal and orange look
Yeah.
with this
Complementary, unified complementary color.
complementary. Yes, Mojo is actually one of the nicest one. And the great thing is that you can like, here you have the skin. So you see that it's really blue or really, I don't know, really like
Yeah.
yellow. You can move it here. Also the blue squeeze. It's actually really easy. And if you want to go deeper, you can have like let's see, you can come here and at the end, you can have the looks. And in the looks, you can have different like, uh, let's say different tools from Magic Bullet
Yeah.
that can also like tools and presets. So for example, here I'm going.
Yeah, the other really nice thing, going through the different configurations and stuff like that is you can actually choose between the Tesla 4 card or the new A10 card. So, if you have something, like Resolve that's CUDA optimized and things like that, I mean, it really makes a great use of the GPU hardware. And the other thing, these machines are very robust. You don't need to deal. One of the reasons with using Eclipse Tech to use an AWS machine is that it's very easy for you to set up. You don't need to go in and do a lot of things. You don't have to have a separate LucidLink account. You don't have to have a separate Teradici account, things like that. It's all bundled into one, so it's really great. You can have multiple machines if you want. You can have as much storage as you want. So I mean, it really is, and you can work anywhere you want as long as you have a good bandwidth connection. So uh, it's it's really great. And the other thing I'd like to say a little bit about how cloud machines are changing the business landscape and things like that. As I said, I've been working on Flame the last couple months, and the first company, LA boutique that I was working for, was working on the Google Cloud. Well, I was using Flame on the Google Cloud, for a couple weeks, and then I went to another facility, and they didn't have virtual machines, and I said, oh, well, I can just fire up my own virtual machine, and I'll put it into the rate. So I did that. I used pretty much the same configuration that I had worked before. But all these companies, these large visual effects companies and things like that, everybody's allowing you to work remote now. So for a guy like me that 3 years ago, before the pandemic and everything, left LA after 35 years and bought a farm in Wisconsin, I still can work on the big projects, my international projects, with my European clients, and I can still do Super Bowl commercials and all that from Wisconsin. And my commute now is I just have to worry about running into deer and tractors as opposed to whatever's happening on the 405 or at the moment in LA. So it's a real blessing to not have to commute into very far into an office and things, and all these companies are allowing you to work remote now. The only restriction I'm seeing is the companies that are big into the tax incentives, where they want you to live in Canada or want you to be in New York or something for the job. But other than that, things are very flexible. You can work for any company all over the world. You can bring your own hardware and build them for it. So you've got unlimited storage. You can back up the data to the Amazon Glacier cloud or send it to the mothership of the facility that you're working for. Most of the companies are integrated directly into the cloud now and have hybrid workflows. So it's really great. Things have changed quite a bit, and it changed for the better for me.
Yeah, for everyone. And I mean, we never like to go to the office.
Yeah.
Now we can work from our house, whatever house it be. It can be, I don't know where you want it. It can be in your friend's house, in your mother's house, in your own house.
You're not limited to a specific locations anymore. It enables you to do the job from everywhere, from your favorite locations. Man,
from your favorite location.
Just imagine, like a couple of years ago, this was only an idea.
It was only an idea.
This is crazy good. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for explaining us the workflow for using Eclipse Tech. So to summarize, anybody of you who want to create big project out there and you feel like, do I have to live in a major city? Yes, probably to get the client. But if you already have like a clientele, and if you want to do your digital nomad and travel the world and still creating amazing project, you can use Eclipse Tech to tackle the heavy project, to grade those heavy files. And then, all you need to do is just a laptop and a reference screen. Well, that's it. And don't forget that you can also get your free t-shirt. Let me share my screen. So let me share my screen. Don't forget to get your free t-shirt. The link is in the chat, and the password to enter the website is Spooky Sculpts. So type in Spooky Sculpts upon entering the website, and you can get one of this free t-shirt. And don't forget that you can also check the upcoming events that hosted by Maxon at maxon.net/event. As you can see, we have VFX and Chill tomorrow with Hashi and Seth. And next Monday, we have the Mystifying Post-Productions webinar. And the topic this time is around ZBrush. So if you want to learn about ZBrush, make sure that you attend the Mystifying Post-Productions. And for those of you who late joined us today, Frosty, probably this is for you. If you want to catch up with the recordings today, simply go to YouTube and type in Maxon Training Team, and you can rewatch the episode. The episode from the beginning. All right. So, with that being said, I would like to thank you once again, Jeff, for your time. And thank you, Diego, for showing us such an amazing demo. So your favorite tools running, Magic Bullet Looks, can be used in the virtual machines as well. You can use it in Premiere Pro and Magic Bullet and Resolve, I mean. And with that being said, I would like to thank you for your time. And I hope to see you in next 2 weeks' time in another episode of Max on Color. So Jeff, thank you very much. Diego, thank you very much. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.